So a lot of people were wondering what is actually going on between them. As you know, she filed for divorce, okay? She said it was with great sadness. However, there was an Instagram post that was put up last week when Cory put a heart next to it, and Tia said, "I love you." And we're like, okay, great, they've reconciled. However, the divorce is going full steam ahead. And everybody's wondering what the heck is going on. And you guys, I did a little research. And you know what? We don't know if the cheating rumors are true, but cheating might actually be the best situation. Because according to rumors in the street and Tia's own Instagram post, and I'm sorry, not her post, but what she's liking, the reason Tia might have left Cory after 14 years of marriage, and she's going through this whole hoopla about choosing herself, it's her new chapter, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, you got to love yourself first, it's because she's implying that Cory was a narcissist. Now, you guys, listen, don't want to start any mess, but you know your girl got some receipts. Are y'all ready to get into this? But before we do, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me just say this. I really love Tia and Cory together as a couple. Now, did I know them? No. Does anybody know what's going on next to them? Are we laying in bed with them? No. Are they laying in bed with each other? Most likely not. But my point of the matter is, I really like the image they put up. I like their, I don't know. To me, they seem like a solid couple. And who doesn't want two people to be happy together? And I was really, really rooting for them to get back together. But now that all this information is coming to light about what she might have left Cory for, now I'm like, girl, go and get your happiness. And if that is single without whoever is stressing you, then so be it. All right, y'all, let's get into this. Y'all hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget, keeping up the Kardashian preview, Real Housewives of Potomac recaps are going to be out. Make sure you look for them. You'll be able to brush your teeth and listen to the soothing sounds of my voice at the same time. Podcasts are dropping soon, making them really special for you guys. All right, let's go. All right, first of all, let's pull into my receipts because you know I like a good receipt. Now, it was brought to my attention by some of the tattletales, right? You guys be on it. That Tia recently had started following a mental health awareness site. Now, I know what you're thinking. Girl, get to the point. Who cares? It's a mental health awareness site. Well, I'm telling you, you should care because this site solely focuses on learning to deal with narcissists in your life. Now, do we know if she's talking about Cory? No, there's no definitive proof. However, who else could she be talking about? Are there any other narcissists in her life? She only got her kids, right? And this is about narcissistic romantic relationships. But let's get into the receipts, right? It's called mental health realness, right? Right? Mental healness. Mental healness. Go ahead and follow the site. I actually find it actually really good, right? It's Lee Hammock, right? So on one post, he put healing is a journey, not a destination. Now, this was liked by Tia. He says you can't catch a flight to healing. You must take the journey. Don't rush the process. All right, you might say, right? Don't rush the process. But I do have to point out that this echoes a lot of things that Tia put in her Instagram post. For instance, right? For instance, let me just go to the most recent one. When she said, this time it's a healing journey. I'm choosing myself. This, that, and the third. Mama is out there. She said, every book starts with a dedication page. I've dedicated to you, my friends, my family. She said this chapter of my life is called My Turn. She's been putting herself last. Listen, she said, my children are my happy place. They always lift me up and give me strength. My pregnancies were complicated by my diagnosis. Once again, I thank my kids for all but here's the thing. When you go to her, I have more receipts. I'm just starting this off. When you go to her Twitter page, right? When you go to her Twitter page, that's when you start to see a lot of stuff that's actually not concerning, but it lets you know where her heart and mind was. We'll get into that in a second, but let's see some more of these receipts. So y'all ready for this? Let's go. Sound up, you guys.
Person is asking, how do narcissists react when you move on? And if you're new here, I have narcissistic personality disorder. So if
before we get into this, follow his site, but also Tia liked. Every post I'm showing are things that Tia liked. Listen to this, and then let's talk about what's on her Twitter.
It really depends on how the relationship ended. If you were the one to break up with the narcissistic person or the toxic person, and you moved on to someone else, you might get an adverse reaction from that narcissistic person. They could become extremely obsessed with you, trying to get you back, blowing your phone up and things like that. Or they could become extremely obsessed with the other person that you moved on with. Sometimes they'll go as far as down talking the other person, trying to compare and contrast. I'm better than him or her. You know what I mean? But sometimes they will actually start to mirror the person that you're with. The person that you moved on to, they will start to act like them, dress like them, and become them sometimes. Even pick up similar mannerisms and try to win you back. Maybe if I acted like that person, they will want me back. The narcissistic mind works really differently when you move on, because a lot of narcissistic people think that they own you, and they think that you will always belong to them no matter what.
Okay, so that's just one. Interesting. When I first saw that, I said, okay, that could just be general. Maybe she's talking about things in the past, but you guys, there's more on this. Hold on.
Narcissistic people and self-sabotage. And if you're new here,
this is the important one. This is the important one. Pay attention, y'all.
I have narcissistic personality disorder. So narcissists like to self-destruct. We just do. It's like an innate behavior for us to self-destruct things when things are going really good in our lives. So once a narcissist hits that self-destruct button, it's almost impossible to stop. And a narcissist would rather self-destruct themselves than have you do it. So to avoid paying child support, a narcissistic person might quit their job. To avoid paying spousal support, they might quit their job and things like that. Although I don't even think that works, but they'll try it anyway, or threaten to do that to keep you from taking out child support or trying to file for divorce and things like that. When a narcissistic person gets bored of their situation, be it marriage, work, or whatever, they will literally quit. They will go cheat. They will do something out of the ordinary just because they're bored and want to destroy something. Controlled chaos is big within narcissistic people, because if there's going to be chaos, I want to control it. So stay safe. I hope this helps.
Okay, now pause right there. Tia did like this post. Also, let's look at Tia's tweets, because everybody looks at her Instagram, right? Let's look at Tia's tweets. 1, self-sabotage. Tia has always been very dedicated to Cory. Nobody can deny that. 2, Cory just got a spin-off show. And again, I know he's worked here and there, but stop playing. Tia was the one that made all the money. You can look at his IMDb, right? Was he working at Walmart? Absolutely not. But Tia was the one that was making all the money. She was the most successful one. She had the bigger name. However, he did just find into a little good graces. The self-sabotage. What did he do to end the relationship? Remember, he tweeted, well, not tweeted, but put on his Instagram live. Every time you act out of emotion, you end up regretting it. But let's look at Tia's video where she said, reminder, you can't choose what life throws at you, but you can choose how to respond. She then says, have you ever been rejected or completely ignored? Even when your heart is pure, damn, it doesn't feel good. But trust, rejection is God's protection. It's never too late to put yourself first. Allow change to make you better, not bitter. I am love. I am peace. Currently making space for what's meant. Reminder, you are enough. You deserve love. You deserve to be understood for who you truly are. Then she goes on to see, you know what? Let's go in, because this actually gets a little dark. Listen to the next thing.
That people make when you first encounter a narcissist or a toxic person is that you drop your boundaries because you like them or you find them attractive or funny or something like that. You have a boundary about no kissing on the first date, but guess what? This person is attractive. I really like them. I'm going to kiss them on the first date. Even though you set a boundary that you wouldn't do it, you drop your boundaries early on. If you just so happen to be dealing with a narcissist or a toxic person and you set these boundaries early on and they push against those boundaries and you drop them or change them, you are setting an early precedence for what happens later on in the relationship. Because if they push your boundaries early, guess what they're going to do later on in the relationship? they're going to push your boundaries later. Well, you let me do it before. The first time you said no to me, it turned into a yes. So why not now? What's changed right now? And then the more you give in, the less your boundaries even matter. You'll get to the point where you don't have any boundaries later on in a relationship dynamic. But Lee, what if we set these boundaries and people turn away from us? They say no to us. Then that person isn't meant for you in the first place. Boundaries are for you. One of the biggest...
Okay, now pause, right? Because we need to actually point out something important. She started liking these posts a month or two before she announced separation and divorce. Around the same time, which is August of 2022, that she started posting these things on her Twitter. Again, listen, starting, and then in September 7th of 2022, you can't choose what life throws at you, but the most heartbreaking one, I thought, and we'll get into this, is, have you ever been rejected or completely ignored? Even when your heart is pure, it doesn't feel good, but trust, rejection is God's protection. Again, who could she be talking about? This sounds like she's talking about romantic love. Now, I will admit, she could be talking about anybody, but let's keep going into the narcissist page and what Tia thought was so important.
So as most of you know, a lot of narcissists and toxic people like to play little games, little gaslighting games to try to mess with your mind. I'm going to show you a real life example of that right here.
17, your father will be here in a few minutes.
Want to take a picture of me?
No, I am. Let me look at your beads. Look, hold on, stay still. All the beads are intact. You see, none of them is coming loose. Here's this side. See?
Mom,
This
take a
side.
picture.
Okay, this is the last side. This is the last side. Let me see. Look. All the beads are on. They've been on all day long. Stop. All day long. None of them are coming off. All of them still got the rubber band on. Wait, we forgot this. See? Now let's see. She hasn't been tugging on them or nothing. Okay.
It's going to
What's up, babe? Come here, Holly. Look. See?
What is that?
Look at this, babe. I want to show you something. Look.
She was on the floor saying thank you with the toys. What are you talking about? I did not touch her hair.
Scissor, you're caught.
Holland, did I touch your hair? Don't lie.
Caught. You
Holland,
are
did I
caught.
touch your hair? Don't
You're
lie.
caught. You're sick.
Holland.
You are a sick
Holland.
man.
Holland.
You're sick.
Holland.
Now
Don't
she can't
lie.
wear. Now
Did
she
I
can't
pull
wear
your beads up?
Yes, you did. You did, Tessa. You know you did. Stop doing the stupid
I
shit.
did not pull her
Why you
beads
doing
out.
this
I
stupid
did
shit?
not pull her beads out. I'm
Tessa,
in here looking for
I've
the
been
keys.
documenting her
I don't
beads
care
all
what
day
you're
long.
saying.
She did not pull
I've
out
been
one.
in
Now, if you guys are wondering what's going on, a woman is actually documenting her life of living with a narcissist. She even had her daughter and showed her hair and said that all the beads were in, videotaped and everything. She went in the room with her father. Her father took out one of those beads because he wanted to criticize the mother that she was not doing the child's hair correctly. When he came out the room and she confronted him saying, you took her beads out, the father started getting loud, confronting, all this stuff. But just watch.
You've been here for 15 minutes.
All right,
Now a
what
bead
was
is
that
gone.
So I'm not saying that that man is a narcissist, but if he is, at minimum, he's a very toxic person playing little mind games like that. And just like a lot of narcissists and toxic people do, they try to involve the kids and intimidate the kids. Did I do that? I didn't do that. Tell me.
Tia liked this post, and she also started doing posts on her Instagram around the time she liked this post about how her kids are her everything, and she will not let anybody hurt them.
Tell you, did I do it? Did I do it? He tried to scare the little girl into agreeing with him, but she agreed with the mom.
Now she
Don't
can't
lie.
wear. Now
Did
she
I
can't
pull
wear
your
her
beads out?
Yes, you did.
See, that little girl probably felt empowered because her mom was there to say yes. But you can see the dad immediately went on the defensive. Why'd you do this to her bead? I didn't do nothing. What'd you talk about? She was playing the game. She was laying on the floor. One of the main red flags I tell people to watch.
Okay, so again, around the time she liked that post, she started posting a lot of posts about how her children are her happy place. She will protect them. She will let nothing come in between them. Over and over and over. Again, she always posted about her children, but it was especially poignant where after she posted this picture, you remember, when she was heartbroken about having to say goodbye to her marriage. Again, We don't know if these narcissistic posts are about Cory. This is speculation. I do hope that if they are both mentally healthy and there was no cheating or no disrespect, that they can actually come together. But when you look at the way she left a 14-year-old marriage, right? And if cheating was not involved, coupled with what she's been posting on Twitter, what she's been posting on Instagram, and the posts that she has been liking that are about romantic, narcissistic relationships, and she was not liking or even following this account prior until the last 3 months toward the breakdown of her relationship. I don't know, guys, but let's a little bit more.
Watch out for if you're dealing with a narcissist or a toxic person early on is if they just harp on their exes a lot. Like if they just cannot get over their exes, they're always bashing their exes. My ex was crazy. My ex is this. My ex is that. They feel like they are carrying a grudge against their ex for some reason, which could absolutely mean that they are a toxic person or a narcissist or whatever. But it could also mean that they're unhealed from the previous relationship. You'd be surprised how often narcissistic people go back to their exes, because a lot of times it's easier to go backwards than it is to go forward. I don't want to have to relearn somebody else when somebody else already knows me. So now it also seems like the ex is being love bombed, like you were love bombed in the beginning as well. So the inclination of a lot of people is to try to help and heal people. I'm gonna help you get over your ex. I'm gonna be better than your ex and whatnot. And you just work harder to keep this person happy. Typically, when you try to fix a broken person, you end up with a broken heart. Yeah.
Now again, Tia had a lot of tweets about being a broken person, ending up with a broken heart. I will say this though. Has anybody checked on Cory's ex? I'm just saying, listen, not making a joke about this, but she's liking these for a reason. Unless she's telling us she's a narcissist, but she's liking this for a reason. And again, this is about a romantic relationship with a partner who is either narcissistic or has heavy narcissistic traits.
Everybody's ex can't be crazy. Yours might. One of the main red flags, I tell you. So as most, hey babe, I'm headed to work. See you later. Have a good day.
This is a little skit where she also liked about the way narcissist comes off as so sweet, so funny, so caring to everybody else, but they are complete monsters at home.
Make sure you keep your mask on all day, okay? There was a long day at work. So glad to be home. Oh yeah, you had a good day. Oh, and you still have your mask on. I love it when you have your mask on. I had a great day at work. Literally everybody loves me there. Oh, the mask? I forgot to take that off. You like that hat? Oh my God, you took off your mask and immediately it started attacking me. Why don't you treat me like you treat everybody else? I mean, if you don't like the comments and stuff like that, you can leave, right? Why is that your answer to everything? Like, what? Seriously, why? Leave. Why is that your answer?
Let's also not forget this thing about why is that always your answer? Leave. Let's not forget that Tia was the one that announced the divorce. She left. She said it's a new chapter. She's putting herself first. And remember when Cory posted on his Instagram stories, every single time you say things out of emotion, I always regret it. Did she finally confront him and say enough of this? And Cory was like, well, then leave. You don't got to be here. And she said, you know what? You're right.
It's not the only answer, but can you please keep your loud voice down before the neighbors hear? Hey man, what's going on? Not much. The walls are kind of thin. Hear a little bit of yelling. Make sure everything okay. Everything is great. Love that hat, by the way. It looks great on you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good day. That's my fault, right? Yep. Hey babe, I'm headed to.
And notice in the video, the hat that he criticized on kept changing. That was his way of being like, you're always trying to please the narcissistic person in your life. But let's continue.
Work. See you later.
You guys want to tell me I'm not abused? I left last night because...
Now this one is the darkest one, and what I'll actually just leave this on, right? This one is the darkest one, where it shows the way narcissistic romantic relationships fly into a rage. And even though your mind tells you need to leave, Tia love like this, even though your mind tells you that you need to leave, your heart, for whatever reason, still loves the person and wants to stay, and how much strength it takes to put yourself first. Let's listen.
He was drinking, and this is what I came home to. And now I have his dad screaming at me. He's on the phone with the police right now, claiming that I'm invading his house. This is what I deal with. There's a piece of shit himself.
I'm not saying that her partner is a narcissist, but if he is, He's at minimum a very, very toxic, dangerous person. And of course, if you're new here, I'm a narcissist. I actually have narcissistic personality disorder. So you go back to the beginning of her video. She says, you guys want to tell me that I'm not abused, which means that she probably told other people about what's going on and they don't believe her because maybe her partner, her ex or whatever, has a good reputation like most narcissists and toxic people do. People tend to not believe you when the narcissist has a good reputation and is nice and sweet and kind and generous to other people. He did all of that stuff right there, went outside, dumped trash cans inside of the house in a fit of rage, y'all. He ended up getting away safely, but right now I think she's trauma bonded. Check this out.
My restraining order was approved. I have mixed feelings because I'm really happy that it got approved.
Pay attention to this.
Because that means that it's protecting my brain from being manipulated and it's protecting my heart from being broken. And if I can get a restraining order approved off of a couple pictures and a few text messages, that definitely shows that he's a danger to me, but I also love him very much and it's very, very difficult. And this all just hurts. And my kids still hate me, but that's okay because that'll come in time.
That is the trauma bond in action 100% right there, y'all. Because her mind knows that she doesn't want to be with that person. Her mind knows it's not safe. She said it, but her heart is still in it. And when I tell people when your heart and your mind are not in alignment, it leads to the trauma bond. It leads to you making decisions based on your heart as opposed to logic in your mind. The trauma bond feels like an addiction, like you get addicted to the person, just like a drug. And when you leave that addiction, when you try to kick that addiction, sometimes you have withdrawals. That's why she starts crying. They have kids together. They have a family together. She said, my kids hate me right now, but that'll come around. Yeah, your kids might not like you right now because the father or whoever might convince them that you tore the family apart. But eventually, kids grow up and understand the dynamic of what happened when they get old enough. So don't stay because of the kids.
Tattletales, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I don't think there's any such thing as coincidence. Talking about kids, talking about fathers, talking about all the situations. Again, I wish them well, but I don't know. I feel like Tia was leaving us clues as to what the problem was the whole time. Anyway, my little tattletales, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.